Hello guys, welcome to Cafe at Simplify. Yeah, actually this is math economics. It's not part of this course units, but I felt very important that I should do this number. Although it is for last semester. For those guys who will come and benefit, I did do it, and why not? We can go on. They are saying the equilibrium condition for the two substitute goods is given by this and this. So P1 and P2 can represent X, Y, and then P1 means that this is the price in market 1 and this is the price in market 2. So they are saying use matrix inversion, find the equilibrium prices. In brief, they want us to find P1 and P2 in the market. So the formula is X equals to the formula is A equals to X inverse dot B. What does this mean? This means that where A can be any value, yeah, it can be X, Y, but now in this case, our A is P1 and P2, okay, yeah. So now X is the matrix of this, the inverse, then B equals to this side equals to what? 15 and 16. So B equals to 15 and 16. 15 and 16. Yeah. So now we start solving. We have to find the inverse of this. So you arrange them, but one thing you should note is that this P1 and P2, like this equation, should be matching with this. And mind about the negatives. Now you see this is negative P1. That means there is a silent negative 1 here. The other thing is that in case they disorganize, they start here with P2, P1. Make sure when you're organizing, when you're writing them, they should be organized like P1, P2, even here P1. So in case here they had put P2, P1, then you shift, you change this one. In case this one was P1, so it would come here 8 P1 minus 8 P1 minus P2 in case this was P2. So I hope you get that. Something to note. So that means our X here is the variables we have is 5. Here we have 5 and negative 2. Then we have negative 1 and 8. Negative 1 and 8. Since the coefficient of P up there is 1, so we put here, like there is no figure here. That means the coefficient is 1. I'm just extracting these coefficients. So this is our X. Yeah. But what do we want? We want to find the X inverse. That means we'll start with the formula, we'll start with finding the determinant. So we'll find our determinant that equals to what? Leading diagonal, which is 5 times 8, and we get 40. Okay. Then minus brackets. Negative 1 times negative 2, we get positive 2. Okay. So making our date to be at 8. So now given that our date is at 8, now what follows? We know that the formula is 1 out of date. When you're finding the inverse, we get 1 out of date. This is the formula for finding the inverse, 1 out of date times the adjoint or adjunct. Yeah, times the adjoint. Yeah. So then if I don't complete the word adjoint, so now how do we get adjoint or adjunct of this 2 by 2 matrix, we know that these ones, the leading diagonal, they change position. So here we get 8, yeah, and here we have 5, but then these ones change signs. So we have here 1 and 2, yeah. So from that we come to our inverse. Remember, now we are finding what? The x inverse will be equal to 1 out of our date is 38, 1 out of 38, yeah, times this, the adjoint, which is 8, 2, 1, and 5. So from this, how do we multiply this? We multiply row by column. That means we have this tables like we are going to multiply inside. We get 8 out of 38. It means we have 8 out of 38. 8 out of 38. Then 2 out of 38. Then 1 out of 38. Then 5 out of 38. Yeah. So from that, so now this is our x inverse. But what do we want? We want A, which is P1 and P2, and we say A equals to the inverse times B. B represents this equals the other side, the right side. So that means we are having this whole equation times, that means our P1, P2 equals to this whole equation times 15 and 16, 15 and 16, which is our B, times 15 times 15 and 16 from the formula. So how do you multiply this whole thing? You always multiply. First of all, this is a 2 by 2. This is a 2 by 2 matrix. And rows, how many rows? 2. How many rows? 2 rows. How many columns? 1 column. So this is 2 by 1. This, when you use this checks for compatibility. If they are compatible, then you can multiply. So give a tick. Then this side, when you get this and this, gives you the outcome. So this should be our outcome. That means our outcome should be a 2 by 1. This is the outcome. So that means we multiply row, this whole row by column like this. And our result should be a 2 by 1 matrix. So we can get a calc and we do it together. So we have so equals to, so we have 8 out of 38, 8 divided by 38 times 15, we get 60 out of 19, we get 60 out of 19, then plus, because we need a 2 by 1, we need something like this, 2 by 1, whereby this will be P1 and P2, P1 and P2. So plus this times this, plus 2 out of 38 times 16, and we get 16 out of 19. We get 16 out of 19. Then we also go to row by column. So we have 1 out of 38, 1 out of 38, pressing manually, so you can as well follow. Time 1 out of 38 times 15 times 15, and we get 15 out of 38. 15 out of 38, get 15 out of 38, out of 38. Then plus 5 out of 38, 5 divided by 38, then times 16, and we get 40 out of 19. We get 40 out of 19. Yeah, so now we multiply, we add this to get our values of P1 and P2. So up we have 60 divided by 19 plus 16 out of 19, and we get an exact answer, which is 4, while here we have 15 out of 38 plus 40 out of 19, and we get 2.5. We get 2.5, and that means our P1 equals to that, then our P2 equals to that 0.5. Yeah, this is 8 marks, and it's something simple and possible. Remember to subscribe, and we are going to dive into our part C as well.